Let's see. It's starting at the moment. Kind of slow though. All right, it's setting up. Setting up is about to start, and we're live. Welcome to the JG Sports Network for the podcast here today. We have Jason, and welcome to the podcast this week.
And for having me.
So the first question the first discussion of the week was that Talladega race. As people seen, we had a big one on the final lap, and a few chase contenders, playoff contenders, were in a few of those wrecks. So, if in your opinion, Jason, what was that Talladega race like for you, and who are you looking forward to seeing win? Who's your picks to win Charlotte, the Roval?
That would be a good question. I would partly pick Christopher Bell, the number 20, because he's been really good on the Talladega track, avoiding every car and driver along the way.
Mm. I feel like Christopher Bell is one of those drivers that can surprise anybody. Literally, one of those drivers that Joe Gibbs has started to fall off a little bit, but Christopher Bell has held that team up to a. It's been good, but ever since Kyle Busch left, it started to fall off, and it's been put in the hands of Christopher Bell, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, Danny Hamlin. Yeah.
Ty Gibbs has shown a lot of potential in Joe Gibbs racing, but ones that are really surprising, and not surprising, but Danny Hamlin and Christopher Bell. I don't know if Truex has won a race this season. I think he may have at the beginning of the season.
I think he won at Martinsville.
Yeah. I feel like Martin Truex Jr. has been on a rough patch since that one person passed away. It's been getting to him a little bit. He hasn't really been staying as consistent as he was hoping. Did a nice job of that Napa truck to get him down. Unfortunately, he was not able to clear. So when it comes to the round of 4, Jason, what is your prediction for the round of 4? Who is your 4 drivers you see making it to Phoenix at the end of the season? Of course, you said Christopher Bell being one of them, but who's your other 3?
Kyle Busch, and I'm probably going to say Ty Gibb because I don't like Bubba Wallace. He's in the 23 car, and like 2020 in COVID era, Black Lives Matter. And besides, he nuked the garage for the reason.
Yeah, that was the most horrible time, and I think that's why a lot of the NASCAR community started to step out of watching NASCAR for a while, and it was something that a lot of people were like, this is realistic, this is going on, and it's not a laughing joke, it's a serious matter, because you're losing a big fan base, and you're losing ratings because of that. It's just crazy. And I know you're a big football fan too. You said you like football. So who's your favorite football team?
Raiders, Buccaneers, the Bears, what else? Yeah, that probably it. I lose count of favorite team of the football.
I have seen a little bit about the Raiders. I haven't seen too much of their highlights, but I know they have a losing streak going on for some reason. But I feel like they're going to step up. Buccaneers, they started out good, and then they started to fall off a little bit. I felt like they were going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, but the Eagles have the refs sucking their dick so much, it's a surprise they can breathe. The one team I root for, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I know our defense is. I know this weekend is Cowboys versus 49ers. And I know the 49ers have a great defense. Cowboys have a great defense. So it's the two best defenses in the NFL this season facing off.
Yeah, and beside Disney Plus only aired like I think October 1st. Toy Story theme.
Was it? It's Jacksonville and the Texans. Well, the Jacksonville
Yes,
and the Falcons,
yes.
right?
The Jets or something. Yeah.
I think it was Jags and Falcons, or it might have been Falcons and Texans. I don't remember, but I can't wait to see that. Team Woody versus Team Buzz Lightyear. Can't wait to see that. I will definitely be tuning in.
Well, they already we play it on Disney Plus if you want to check it out.
All right, and also, I went on. There was a rumor going out lately, and I'm going to read this little rumor I found, and I don't know if it's real or not. Disney has acquired the NFL to play at least a few games next season on
Yo, what
Disney
the?
Channel.
Oh,
What
he's
the
coming
hell?
back.
And that's a big.
What in the hell is this?
We're already streaming.
Oh, fuck me.
So right,
Yeah,
you
we're
wanna-
in the
Wasn't
dark.
so I was gonna tell you.
I wasn't prepared.
It's okay. I just read a rumor that I found. It was Disney Channel has acquired NFL to play a few season games next season on Disney Channel to bring in a younger fan base. What are y'all's thoughts on
Eh?
Disney? What are y'all's thoughts on Disney Channel? Because Disney Channel and Nickelodeon has played playoff games with their whole slime monster and things. So what is y'all's thoughts on Disney Channel now wanting part of sports?
Uh, I honestly don't have. I don't even know, to be honest. I got no. I mean, I'm shocked. Number one, interesting enough.
And next season, the CW33 has already signed a deal, or it may have been 2025, with the Xfinity series. So when you don't have cable, everybody has CW33, so you'll be able to see all Xfinity races next season, except maybe a few, which is very big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's a plus sign for NASCAR with live streaming stuff without any cables.
Yeah,
Which is a nice thing.
and something I feel like should happen with NASCAR. I think they should go back and have races on either like Channel 8, TNT, ESPN. I feel like those channels were very great. I feel like if they went back to them, ratings would go up again. And like you said earlier, 2020 with the whole Bubba Wallace Black Lives Matter thing changed the way NASCAR was seen for years. And it still is from here now. People still talk about it. It's something that not a lot of people understood. But I know Kenny, from a standpoint, what was your reaction to all of that at Talladega that day in 2020 with the whole new stuff?
Right.
What was your thoughts about it, Kenny?
Any
Sorry. Sorry. What?
I'll say, what was your thoughts about the whole new situation in 2020 with Bubba Wallace? What was your thoughts on it, and how did it change NASCAR in your opinion?
Okay. Um, I know some people are from the South, like including yourself, Blood,
Yes.
and everyone knows the Confederate flag, right?
Uh-huh.
It's the freedom of. And he's gone, and there he is.
oh, sorry, I have a monitor over to the right or left of my side.
Nah, you good. All right. So as I was saying, basically it's like just like NASCAR took banned the Confederate flags from being attended in NASCAR races now.
Just gonna turn off the camera for this one.
I feel like I'm a Northeastern dude, so I don't care about patriotic bullshit. It's just me. I'm not against it. I'm not against the Confederate flag. Yes, I know we had a civil war over it. I don't really care about it. It's just me. It doesn't bother me one bit. I think it's kind of stupid that you take away something the South is known for and appreciates in their life. It's just stupid.
It's like saying
But
it's like
I can see I guess I can say some black people are happy about it because it still reminds them of being slavery, I guess, you know?
yeah.
But that's just me. And I respect African Americans. They have fought for their rights and their freedom, which I respect deeply. So that's my opinion on it. I think I'm not gonna deny Bubba Wallace's talent. Bubba Wallace has great talent. We see it in the truck series. He's won multiple races on the dirt. He won the Eldora race with Kyle Busch Motorsports. That is the best truck team you can drive for. In the GMS, Iron Thor Sport, and especially with Corey Heim this year in his truck season with David Gillen Racing, that team has been on fire.
Yeah, and I want
So
something that you said about taking the rights away, right? About the Confederate flag. The same thing happened with the Washington Commanders. They took the name Redskins away and they changed the logo. Everybody's fighting
I
for
mean, look
something
at the
that has
Cleveland. I
history.
mean, same. Yeah,
Joe Gibbs
same
used
with
to
the
be the
Cleveland Indians.
Joe Gibbs used to be the head coach of the Washington Redskins. So he three he
Led them to 3 Super Bowl wins.
and that's the thing. You take away history is something bullshit
Yeah,
because you learn about all this stuff in school and you learn as a football fan compared to being a NASCAR fan. If you're the longest Redskins fan, you know that that was history. That name and the logo was
yeah.
big history. And now, I will read something about it. The South There was something about the South African Society, and they were fighting to get the Redskins name back. But there was a certain amount of people
Which I
that took it away for a reason, but I don't get it. Washington had so much. I mean, the Redskins name had a lot of history. The name, the logo, everything about it was just awesome. That's the reason why every year that was the one game I was always waiting for was Cowboys versus Redskins, and now it's Cowboys versus Commanders. And it, while the name does sound cool, it's not historic.
it's not the same.
I
You
mean,
know,
it's way better than the name Washington Football Team, where they don't have a name.
which was last season, which is the dumbest bullshit I have ever fucking heard in my
Actually,
entire
actually, it
life.
wasn't last season. Last season they were known as the Commanders. It was 2 seasons ago.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right. Stupidest thing you've
two
ever heard.
seasons ago. Yeah, but going back to like NASCAR real quick. Let's talk about somebody real quick. Let's look at Corey Heim, right?
Yes.
And let's go with like his team. David Gillen, former NASCAR driver and father of current front row motorsports driver Ty Gilliland. Look how far that man has come in his career. From like driving for backmarker teams in his later career, right?
Yes.
One Bush win, 2006, Kentucky. What car was he driving? Underfunded Chevy Camaro car, number 84. Unsponsored car, underfunded team, part-time basis. And he catches the eye of legendary car owner Robert Yates, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this. Let's go to 2007, Daytona 500 qualifying. What happens? David Gillen starts on the pole with his Robert Yates teammate Ricky Rudd. But if we go into later years, David Gillen becomes a truck owner, 2018, part-time basis, full-time 2019, 2020, 2021. They start racking up a couple wins. Todd drives a truck at Knoxville. They win. Let's go to 2023. Now they're called Trigon Garage. New name. Dumbest name I ever heard. Don't like it. You have guys like Corey Heim having an unbelievable season. Final four appearance. Question is he the championship favorite? Your guys' opinion.
I'll let Jason go first on that one before I say anything.
Jason, what's your opinion? Do you think Corey Heim is the favorite to win truck championship this year? Or is it somebody else in mind you have?
Um, I I don't have opinion for that. I have not watched too much of the Truck series, but my guess is going high would probably win the season of the Trust series. That my guess.
Right.
And for me, I think
But
any time that you're put as the fan favorite,
if we
that's something
now,
special. So I feel like yes, I feel like Corey Heim being the
absolutely.
fan favorite, he can win the championship, but it's not going to be an easy task. But I feel like he can do it. Yes, will he do it? We'll just have to watch and find out. But yes, I feel like Corey Heim is going to be your 2023 NASCAR Truck Series champion.
Mhm. So, okay, let's think about this real quick. Has anyone heard the news yet about Rajah Karut and Boris Said
No.
in the
No.
NASCAR Xfinity Series? So it was announced that Boris Said will drive the number 17 HendrickMotorsports.com Chevrolet at the Charlotte Roval next week in the Xfinity Series race. Rajah Karut, current Rookie of the Year contender in the Truck Series for GMS Racing, will drive at Phoenix in the number 17 Chevy Camaro HendrickMotorsports.com in a one-off race deal for both drivers to have a better shot of winning. This will be Boris Said's final NASCAR race ever next week. He's going out with a hoorah.
Yeah. And there has been rumors stating, I don't know if y'all have heard the news, Jason, I don't know if you heard the news either, Kenny. There's been talks with Dale Earnhardt Jr. going around for the last few seasons of Dale Jr. acquiring a charter or two to start junior motorsports in the Cup Series. Now,
I have heard about it.
while that's still in the air, do y'all feel like it's a possibility, knowing that Jimmy Johnson had came back and is partnered with Richard Petty Motorsports, Jeff Gordon partnered with Hendrick? Do you feel like it would be only good for Dale Jr. to own a team in the Cup Series like his other former teammates?
Um,
Mhm.
Probably not because he only teaming for that 50 or probably truck. I don't know, but my guess is probably not.
All right. What about you,
Mhm.
Kenny?
I feel like, honestly, dude, he has. I mean, Jimmy Johnson. Let's think about this. Jimmy Johnson is a 7-time Cup champion. You know,
Yeah.
I like him.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Well, Kenny, we lost you again. Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. We lost you again.
Right. Anyways, sorry. That's Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion. Him coming to ownership this year with Marty Gallagher and Richard Petty is definitely one of the big deals. Him making a couple starts. That team has struggled this year all year long. All year long, it's been terrible. So, but it's different. I feel like we'll have a good chance.
All right. And if he does make his team, what are the four drivers? If four, who do you think could be the first driver he signs? Because there's many people in the Xfinity Series. Noah Gragson being one of those people that he. I know things have been stated with Noah Gragson after that whole thing he did on Twitter. But do you think he could be a possible driver for Junior Motorsports if it was to come to the Cup Series? And if not, who would be your picks?
Mm, it it uh,
Give me 1 sec. Sorry guys, someone just popped up.
All right. Well, what was
oh
that, Jason?
um wh- who's the can you say the question again?
I said if Junior Motorsports did make a team, if not Noah Gregson, who in your opinion would be
No.
Dale Jr.'s drivers that he'd pick to move up to the Cup Series to be on that team?
Um, if he do great in the Xfinity series throughout this season this year, then he probably think he should be in the Cup Series next season.
All right. after everything that's happened with him, I kind of feel like it's um I feel like was it I feel like Noah Gregson, he has great talent. Great talent. It's just Noah
Oh,
Gregson.
oh, wait, now I remember. He crashed too many time in the Chicago street circuit. Yeah, I changed my mind. Probably not. Yeah, he doesn't deserve a second chance to be back in the Cup Series next season.
All right. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's going around NASCAR and NFL that not a lot of people see, not a lot of people understand, but at this point, anything is possible. Literally anything. I just don't know when.
Hmm.
But I was like, what I want to know. Do you think Jimmy Johnson will ever run the Daytona 500 again in that '84 car?
Well, he is a seven-time champion, and he's he's then into IndyCar, and now he come back to NASCAR at a co co-owner of Let's See Motorsport. There may be an opportunity for him to come back to Daytona 500.
All right. I feel like if I know another thing that was said next season, Josh Berry was going to be driving the number 4 for Stewart Haas Racing with AJ.
Kevin Harvick.
Do you think this was a good move for Stewart Haas Racing in acquiring Josh Berry, or do you think it's too soon for him to be driving the
Rod
number?
Berry, we can see him into fitting into the floor car because Kevin Harvick, he need to let go at any moment of the life because he's getting old and someone have to take his place. So it probably be a bad move for John Barry to take his place.
Do you think this was like Kevin Harvick's way of passing the torch to a new driver?
Yeah.
I think with this happening, I think it's a very good move for Stuart Haas and taking in somebody who has big talent. I am not saying nothing bad about Josh Berry. I mean, if you look back, he took over for Chase Elliott. He's took over for Alex Bowman. Um, he's been great. And then those few races that Corey LaJoy took over for the 9. I'm going to change the subject here about Corey LaJoy. Big, great driver in his own mind. Very great driver. There's no doubt in my mind he could be a winner in the Cup Series anytime soon. If you look back to either this season or last season, I think it might be last season. No, it was this season, and he drove the 9, and he did good. And then there was that race he drove the 7. He almost won that race. Very great talent. Corey LaJoy has, and I feel like one day with the right person, a team's going to sign him, and he's going to do great. Same with Matt DiBenedetto. Was doing good, almost won a couple races in the Cup Series, got screwed over, almost won Bristol one year in the '95. I think it was like 2018, I think. And then after that, going to the Truck Series now. I think he's had a lot more success in the trucks than he's had in the Cup Series for a long time.
Yeah, like in 2019, Matt Dillon was in the 95, but was taken over by Christopher Bell in the 95.
Yeah, I will say, you're so when it comes to Matt DiBenedetto, what races in your mind should he have won in his whole career that he came close to but didn't get to?
Hmm. Daytona.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget the talking about Daytona, I'll never forget the race that he had back in 2020, the Daytona race, the Daytona, I think it was, the Daytona 500. Yeah, it was. And Ryan Newman had that bad flip back in 2020 in the six car. People called it the worst Daytona wreck they've ever seen until the next gen came out. We just seen that Daytona at the night race of the Coke Zero Sugar 400 when Ryan Preece flipped. It just goes to show you. Uh, I think the safety of these cars need to be. Then NASCAR needs to take these Cup Series precautions for this next gen car because with as many injuries as we're getting from these not so hard hits, and the drivers are getting concussions and stuff from it, that's NASCAR's way of that's the way for NASCAR. No, hey, we need to fix these issues. These drivers are getting injured, and if it gets any worse, we could possibly have a death on our hands in a lawsuit. That's nothing to play around with, especially in these next gen cars. So I feel like
Yeah, and it. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
And like you were like saying about the NASCAR suing him, like people suing NASCAR. If they got sued, the whole team and the whole real life league is shutting down forever.
I'm talking about like I'm talking about like oh yeah, never mind. You're right. When it comes to the next gen cars, NASCAR, I want NASCAR to listen. If they watch this stream at any point, I want them to know the next gen cars, while they are a good idea, they look nice, the paint schemes are great, the safety is an issue. The cars do run great. All these underdog drivers are performing better. But what's the cost of a better performing car and the safety of your drivers? At all costs, your driver safety is number one. Performance of the car and the look of the car should not matter. It's the roll cage and the way that you build these cars, which should be safe enough for the drivers to want to drive every week. I just don't feel like NASCAR is taking the rule seriously of wanting these drivers to be as safe as they can, and I feel like uh NASCAR is trying to say, hey, these cars are okay. They're fine. You can drive these, no problem. But in any case, they're
No,
not good.
but no, like all the other tracks like Pocono, Charlotte, Daytona, Dover, and at many tracks go on. They're going to be a wreck, and they're going to be caution. But no, NASCAR won't throw out the yellow.
You're right. And if you look back, there was another wreck last year in the Cup Series because if y'all look back to last year, there was a few. Well, there was a few wrecks this year and a few wrecks last year. When the next gen car first debuted last year, we seen Chris Buescher flip at Charlotte, and you were just talking about Charlotte. And I know some of these drivers walk out like they're fine, but in any case, the last 2 years, their NASCAR's not doing anything about the safety for their drivers, and it's really starting, I think, to piss a lot of the fan bases off because they're not doing anything. So in my go, I feel like NASCAR is being a little bit lazy with trying to fix the next gen cars, which is horrible in my opinion. Because like NASCAR is supposed to be a safe sport, it really is. And if you're not uh, saving your drivers and keeping them safe, then what are you really doing? You're just doing it for the money. And NASCAR officials aren't saying nothing. The drivers have said stuff, but NASCAR's not listening. You know that for a fact. You've heard the drivers say in previous races that these cars are not safe and they were not ready. they I think they need to be tested another year or two, and then yeah, bring them in, but only when you know for a fact that they are ready to go.
Maybe they need to take an extra month off before they set everything ready for the beginning of next season for the Daytona 500.
After, if you want to do something, start in after races end after the championship during that month. the next few months, be working on that car. Make sure it is ready for race day. Make sure it's the safest as possible, and have these drivers test it out at not a big track, not like Daytona. Do some like winter testing like they used to do. Because that's where all this testing was coming from and all this safety was being shown. But again, NASCAR is refusing to do any of this, which is a complete letdown because oh man, it's a lot. It's a lot to I don't know. It's a lot at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yes. And taking an example, like Formula One, they listen to their fan base with caution, like in taking
Yeah.
care of teams, drivers, and other stuff. But NASCAR, on the other hand, they're just lazy and nothing to do.
And at any point with these drivers who have been um, having these bad wrecks, do you expect NASCAR to do something like in your mind? If you were a NASCAR official, would you have dealt with this already? Would you have already made the statement that these cars were not ready?
Yeah, I'm just throwing the red flag for it.
And I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
No, bro. We're talking about how the next gen cars are and how the safety in NASCAR is not doing anything. But yeah, I feel like right now with the next gen cars again, um, 2 years ago when they debuted, they should have took a few more months or another year to make sure that they were good. Because right now with how the safety is, NASCAR's not caring. They're not doing anything. NASCAR officials aren't saying anything, but the drivers are, but they're not listening. So it's like, um, again, not something that I'm I'm personally trying to fix. I have a series going on in our 2003, but that doesn't matter because the physics and the safety of the cars don't even matter because it's a game. But when it comes to real life, the drivers and everything, their safety means everything. So why NASCAR isn't doing anything boggles my mind. Because Ryan Priest could have died. um, we didn't see a bad wreck from we didn't see as bad of a wreck from Daytona when Harrison Burton flipped, and we didn't see a very bad one when Chris Buescher flipped, but it was still something to think about. But I just think the horsepower, they care a little too much about the horsepower and the look of the cars and not the safety of the drivers, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, for the next gen car, they need to lower down the gears. Like, not fifth gear, just fourth gears.
Yeah.
And Kenny, I know you've said a lot about these next gen cars and the safety about these and how NASCAR is not doing anything. I want to
Yeah.
go ahead and tell the stream and tell Jason your reasons about this whole thing.
So I mean, let's go back in time a little bit. Everyone remember 2008 with Michael McDowell flipping at Texas Motor Speedway?
Yes, hit the wall straight
Yeah.
on.
Go go back in time a bit. I think the car tomorrow looked ugly as hell. Not denying it, but it was safer, so much safer. Compare that to a next gen car. Let's go to Ryan Preece's flip at Daytona this year. I mean, Preece could have been killed. Honestly, he could have been killed. Go and look at Davey. Okay, everyone knows his eyes right now, right? Everyone has seen his Priest's eyes right now. Does that not remind you of a certain somebody from 1992?
Rusty Wallace.
Davey Allison?
Oh,
No,
Oh,
Davey Allison. Davey Allison comes to Talladega the next week after his terrible crash in Pocono. Eyes are fucking black. Look at Ryan Priest's eyes. Black.
yeah.
Difference.
And I was talking about this
That
earlier.
is from so many years ago.
You said Ryan Priest, and I did talk about Ryan Newman's flip at Daytona in 2020 of how bad that was too. Compare the two between his flip and Ryan Priest's. Both named Ryan, both had a very bad crash. Both could have died. Ryan Newman barely made it out alive, but he had back problems.
Yeah. But at least there's the other thing. The safety crew was there to Ryan's car immediately. That's the difference. They took a little bit of time to get to Priest. That's the difference. Okay. Priest did get out of the car under his own power. We did see that. Yes, he did. Ryan Newman did not. He had to get cut out of the car. We are fortunate enough that Ryan Newman survived that crash after he got hit by Corey LaJoy.
Yeah.
But the Gen 6 cars at the time, they're just so sensitive to drafting. They're just so sensitive. You can watch the highlights of the race, and you can see how sensitive they were all day long. All race long. They were that sensitive. Compared to a next gen car, you cannot even draft somebody and they will fucking spin out. You try to draft, you're gonna bump. If you bump way too hard at corners, you'll see what happened in Talladega in the spring this year. Kyle Larson, Ryan Priest, head on the driver's side. I mean, good lord, dangerous.
And I'm going to show something.
It's just terrible.
I don't want to get copyright for this, but I'm going to take you back to 2009 for a second. I'm going to let y'all watch this for a second. Carl Edwards, the car tomorrow. Watch the way that he's going to call Greg Keselowski's car here.
I remember this.
Mhm.
I was watching this race that day.
Now,
As a kid,
in my opinion, cars
as a
tomorrow.
young boy,
yeah,
safest car of all time. Car tomorrow, safest race car of all time.
I was about to say that. Car tomorrow was definitely the safest.
Yeah. But as a kid watching that race, I cried. I'll tell you that right now. As a young kid watching a race that day, I was crying for Carl Edwards because I thought he died. I thought you don't know better as a kid when you're watching NASCAR, but as an adult, you know he's okay. He got out of the car under his own power, and he ran to the finish line to finish the race, which I thought was incredible.
Here's the sad part, though. While the car was destroyed and the driver was okay, when it hits the catch fence, the fans, on the other hand, are not so lucky at times.
No. Let's go to 2013. Nationwide race at Daytona. Beginning of the season, Kyle Larson got airborne. A couple spectators died that day because the engine from Larson's car, the tire, hit a couple people. Some were critically injured. Fortunately, on some other people died. That's the part, and that's depressing because you never expect that to happen at a racetrack. You never expect it.
In another race,
That's just sad.
Take you back to 2015. Daytona.
Austin Dillon. You're going so fast, and when it just comes to a dead stop, dude, that's so much like G-force in one go. So much G-force.
And not only that, but he got hit by Brad Keselowski when he drove the 2 one final time. And he wasn't responsive for a while, but he got out of the car. Just shows the difference between the safety of those cars and the cars tomorrow, which were the safest
next gen.
compared to the next gen. It seems like the cars continue to get less safe. And at any point,
that's the honest.
They're going to do it so much that one day they're going to have the worst wreck of their life, and they're going to lose the life of a driver.
And the last time we had somebody killed in a NASCAR Cup race, go back to 2001, Daytona 500, February 18th.
Yep.
The day we lost Dale Earnhardt Sr., the greatest NASCAR. I consider we say the greatest NASCAR driver of all time.
Yes. The Intimidator.
We lost him. 76 career wins, 6 championships with Richard Childress, 1 with Rossman Racing.
I thought he has 7. He's tied with Jimmy Johnson and
Yeah. But he won his first Cup championship was with a 2 car, Rod Osborne's team. and then his other
Okay.
6 came with Richard Childress.
Okay. And with all these legendary drivers, again, I want to say something about Corey LaJoy again from earlier. Great driver, just needs a better team. He almost won one race in the 7. He took over for Chase Elliott, and then you have Josh Berry coming in. Great choice for Stewart Haas Racing to put in the 4. Very great
Best
driver
choice
as well.
spare available. Which now that case is Josh Berry is going for an Xfinity title this year. Who's his replacement in the 8 car next year? Rookie year contender for the Joe Gibbs Racing team. Sammy Smith will take the 8 car next year for Junior Motorsports. Pilot Flight will be the main sponsor of that number 8 car. It's a family reunion to Junior Motorsports and Pilot Flight because Pilot Flight used to sponsor Michael Annett for the years that Michael Annett drove the 1 car for Junior Motorsports. Family reunion, pretty cool.
Speaking of Junior Motorsports, did y'all know, and I know Kenny will say yes, and I know you might say yes too, Jason, almost almost the entire Hendrick Motorsports team now was a Junior Motorsports driver that won championships. Chase Elliott,
Well,
William
yes, I
Byron,
do. I do know that, except for
Al-
one.
and Alex Bowman is the only
Oh,
driver to finish in every position in a cup race, 43rd all the way to first.
which that's it's a record in its own set point, but
He did.
remember this: Bowman in his beginning, Alex Bowman in the beginning of his career, drove for one of the worst backmarker teams of all fucking time. And unfortunately, it's controversial because it's my day job at work. Burger King Racing, BK Racing for short. Rob Devine's team. That team bought when Michael Waltrip Racing closed down the year in 2015. That team bought all of its asset and employees, so they had better equipment, but they still managed to just be just terrible, like fucking ass all year.
But the only driver that was
They'll
able to
occasionally get like one top 10.
the one driver that really shone out
One,
of that was Alex Bowman. He never gave up. He was one
it
of the
was
fans. He was one of the fan favorites. And then go back to, I think it was 2016 or 2017 when he took over for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and had the
17
and then he had the most unbelievable races of his life shown out. And then the few seasons later, 2018, they named him the new driver of the
full
88
time season.
full time season. Then
So let's go. So let's go back to 2016 for a minute. Okay, Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets injured with concussion, has to sit out the rest of the year. Who is the first person they call to drive that car? Alex Bowman. And then they called in Jeff Gordon to come out of retirement, drive a few races.
and
So
they
Bowman and Gordon for the rest of the playoffs took the 88 ride.
Okay, let's talk. Can we talk about Jeff Golden? He the popular NASCAR the whole year, like beginning to the end, before William Byron take over the 24 car.
yeah,
Well, first it was Chase Elliott that took over for 2 years. And then William Byron came in 2018, and Byron has been in 24 since, which William Byron is the favorite. From a lot of people are saying is the favorite to win the championship. Has the most wins this year in the season. Is he the favorite though? That's the question.
I'd say it's a mix up between him, Kyle Busch, and Christopher Bell at this point because they've had a good amount.
Kyle Busch is in a win. Kyle Busch is in a win-win situation now. He has to win next week in order to move on.
I,
Same with Bubba Wallace.
I think Kyle Busch has correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all agree or disagree. Kyle Busch may have a better chance of getting into the final and into the next 8 in the round of 8 than Bubba Wallace has. But that's just because, in my opinion, it's skill level and the experience that Kyle Busch has had.
And equipment too. The 8 car has been good all year long, but the middle of the year has been terrible for that 8 team. It's not been good. They have to step up their program to fucking have a shot to move on.
Yeah.
Now, but going back to Jeff Gordon, yes, Jeff Gordon has won 4 championships. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's 91 wins he has.
91 wins,
What is it?
I think. I don't know.
How many championships has he won? Two. I haven't asked you
Four.
before.
Gordon has won 4 titles. One in I believe 95, 98. No, not yeah, 98, 2000. No, it wasn't 2000. 2001, I believe, was his fourth.
I do want to say this
I'm
about
trying to-
two different drivers while you're looking that up. I want to take y'all back to between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart. Great drivers, but y'all know in Tony Stewart's whole career, he's won
Oh,
championships.
I got one. Okay, Jeff
93
Gordon
wins.
got
Sorry.
93 wins and 4 titles.
Hmm.
I was gonna say this, Kenny and Jason. Y'all know Tony Stewart's had a lot of championship wins, but never won a Daytona 500. Where on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s side, he's won two Daytona 500s and no championship. But you see how good of drivers
Yeah.
they were. It's just good in my opinion. I like it. And if y'all want to watch
Hmm.
something awesome, go on YouTube, search up NFL. They posted the Toy Story Fun Day Football Jacksonville Team Jacksonville Jaguars, aka either Woody, and then we have Buzz Lightyear, which is the Falcons. Right now it's 7-0 Jacksonville, and the Falcons just got sacked. No surprise there.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want
Yeah.
switching gears from NASCAR for a second. I want to talk about 2 weeks ago, and I was already talking about this in Frozen's stream earlier about 70-20 Dolphins. Anybody who watched that game can admit Dolphins played their hearts out, and the Broncos have not been very big of a strong team as of late. But you take you take it to the next week, which was this week, and you see the Broncos versus the Bears, a need to win situation here when they haven't won, and the Chicago Bears still have yet to pick up a win. And people say the Broncos have a good defense. Where was that defense 2 weeks ago? Like you say, Broncos have a good defense this year. Apparently, they didn't have a good enough defense to beat the Dolphins. But I feel like I know you said you're a Buccaneers and Raiders and other team fan, Jason. So how do you feel about the Buccaneers season so far? How do you think it's going for them?
Hmm.
Um, I think, um, I think Buccaneers may have a better chance to winning over the years than over the past few years.
Yeah,
The Buccaneers have not wins because of their losing streak.
and they had Tom Brady for how long? Like 2 years. I mean, Tom Brady was supposed to retire last year and then came back from playing another season for the Bucks. Do you feel like the Buccaneers are better without Brady, or are they better with him compared to
Right?
how they are now compared to how they were last year?
I think they better with Tom Brady because without him, they're on the losing streak forever.
I feel like they still have a chance to win. I feel like they're still a good team. They're not a bad one. One team that has shocked me this season. Well, two, and I think they can shock you and Kenny too. Not Dolphins, but Lions and Falcons. Definitely two underrated
They're
teams that I haven't seen
they've
win.
stepped it up.
For the
Yeah, they
last
stepped up their programs.
for the last few years, the Lions have been rebuilding, and they have done an amazing job. I mean, they've acquired a lot of good help, along with the Patriots. They're not that bad. They've acquired Ezekiel Elliott. They've acquired Juju Smith-Schuster, and they still got Mac Jones, which is in my opinion, he's not the worst quarterback, but he needs to work a little bit harder. The Eagles just suck in general, but that's because I'm a Dallas fan. I'm an Eagles hater. I'm more of a Dallas and Washington Commanders fan. And Houston Texans because I used to be a Texans fan.
Mm.
But Kenny, what are your thoughts on the Buccaneers season this year compared to how they were last year?
Um, I mean, so far this year has been better. Yeah, since Brady is now gone retired, we have a new quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
He's good.
He's been doing a fantastic job so far. Which I believe he'll probably be a good fit with the team. Just all he's gotta do is just be a little bit better, and he'll be all right. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player, but he's just gotta be a little bit better.
Yeah. What teams are you fearing the most in the NFC right now that could be a threat to the Buccaneers coming into the playoffs one day in a few weeks?
Uh, question.
Because I think the three teams that could possibly be one, in my opinion, are Dallas, but in the Dallas, the Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Philadelphia Eagles. But I will say one thing about Philadelphia. One good thing about Philadelphia is their offense is good. The defense, on the other hand, I feel like Dallas and 49ers have the two best defenses in the league by far for the last 2 years in a row. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs is injured. He's out, so Stephon Gilmore's having to step up to the plate. Leighton Vander Esch, uh, Darren Bland, Jaron Curse, just very Malik Hooker, for instance. All those good defense players, then you have a good offensive line stopping the runs. It's just a lot. When you come into a game, don't
Mm-hmm.
you I will admit, last week or 2 weeks ago when they faced the Cardinals, I had high hopes that since the Cardinals have not won a game yet, that we were just going to go 4-0. Well, that wasn't the case. Cardinals did have a big surprise, and no doubt Cardinals has had a good team for a while. No doubt about that. But they're still rebuilding too, along with the Giants, which I feel would be a better team if they just rebuild better. Spend money. That's what it's for. I just feel like that. I just feel like they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough at this point to be Super Bowl contenders. I mean,
Yeah.
Giants went 40-0. Cowboys won that one. And another thing about the Cowboys, they've in the last few weeks, the last 4 weeks, the Cowboys have scored, except in the Cardinals game, they scored a whopping amount of 30 points or more, which in the first 2 weeks, they scored over 70 points in the first two games combined. So Cowboys definitely shown that they have the team they have the team to beat. That's until the 49ers this week.
Mm-hmm.
Another good team that they've had in trouble defeating for the last 2 years in the playoffs. It's just I feel like they have a chance, but it depends on what y'all think about the 49ers and the Cowboys. So what are y'all's thoughts on the Cowboys and 49ers these last 2 years? If y'all
They've
have any.
not been terrible. They haven't. They can do improvement. That's what you need to do. Improvement would be better for them for both teams, except for the 49ers have been good. They are
Brock,
good.
Brock
Don't
Purdy
get
is
me wrong.
Brock Purdy is the best quarterback there.
Ugh.
Don't get me wrong. They can definitely do improvement.
Ooh, I'm so sorry I burp.
No
Ooh.
problem. You're good.
It's definitely it's it will definitely be good if like they just need to move on. Like they need to do like obviously like improve a little bit more. Like defense is important. Trust me, it is.
I'll be right
But
back.
offense is definitely really important.
I'm gonna step away for a second. I'll be right back.
Now, it's definitely something new. Anyways, you have a favorite truck driver, um, Jason?
Bush.
Oh, there you go then. Thoughts on his departure from Joe Gibbs to RCR? Are you surprised that he left Joe Gibbs to go to RCR or no?
I think I really think Copland made the right move to RCR because of his kid Braxton Push. And he have his
Mhm.
own racing series like on his way to the start of the NASCAR journey.
Yeah. I mean, you have any thoughts on Kyle Busch selling his truck series team to Spire Motorsports?
Well, it kind of a big step up.
I mean, it's good for Spire. I mean, it's interesting, you know, because I mean, Spire is a decent cup team. They're building something. They're doing something over there. They're definitely do, they're definitely trying to do something with that team over there. Which I'm curious what they will be doing. What is their plan for next season? Like what? Obviously, they have more money now because of GameBridge, a sponsor for Mario the IndyCar team of Marco Andretti. It's definitely new. So I'm curious to see what they do. You know?
What's that, Taylor? I'm back.
Alright, welcome back.
So what's the conversation right now? What is the talking right now?
Talk about Kyle Busch's departure from Joe Gibbs to RCR, and then Kyle Busch selling Kyle Busch Motorsports to Spire Motorsports and what they're planning on doing with that shop. I know they're currently out in Koiki's old race shop. I know that. So they're probably about to get ready to move during the off season. They'll probably move into Kyle Busch's old Kyle Busch Motorsports shop. So their plan is, as far as I know, they have 3 cup teams now because Zane Smith will drive for Spire Motorsports next season with a technical alliance with Trackhouse Racing.
I feel like that's a good move for that team. I mean, Zane Smith, he is a recent Truck Series champion, and
Oh, he's the current defending truck champion right now.
he's damn good. There's no doubt about that. He has the skill to
I
drive race
mean,
cars.
yes, it's a big blow to Front Row Motorsports and the Ford team, but it is Front Row Motorsports a little bit fault because they could have like I don't know. I mean, yeah, Sainsbury's made a couple cup starts this season. He has been great. A top 10 at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coke 600 for that team. That's pretty damn good. That's really good for him.
Michael McDowell's the only
But
front row driver, in my opinion, that's actually doing great this season, other than the 38 driver.
not going and doing a good job.
He's not bad.
With Michael McDowell's winning the road course to punch his ticket to the playoffs. I think that team the team is definitely improving. They're fucking improving, which is good.
And so is Corey LaJoie's team. They're doing good. All these underdogs with
Yes.
the next gen car was good for a reason. It's all these other cars, all these other drivers, underdogs are doing better. The safety is the reason.
Now, however, there is this thing. Do you know how Trackhouse did sign Zane Smith, but to help Zane Smith because they're trying to get a third charter. Well, they actually have a third charter.
The 91, right?
Live Fast Motorsports, BJ McLeod's team, and Matt Tiff's team has sold their charter for a big record sale of $40 million to Trackhouse Racing. And the Trackhouse is leasing that charter to Spire Motorsports for next season for Zane Smith to drive. The question is, what number is Zane Smith going to drive next season? What is it going to be?
I think I'm gonna make a wild guess. I know the 91's already been a part-time car, but I feel like the 91 could possibly come to another team. I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen has
I
won
mean, Shane Minsger's.
Continentals. He was good.
Yes, they have.
He was the fan
But that,
favorite.
that 91 car is. Yeah, the only problem is that 91 car is only for part time only. And staying at Trackhouse. It's not going to go anywhere else. I feel like. So we know the 77 ride's probably going to be open. Ty Dillon is probably not going to stay in that ride for next season. Probably not. Ty Dillon, okay. Ty Dillon is good, but he's not been good this year. He's just been terrible
He's
all
not.
year long.
He's not. He's not. I'm gonna say this with the most respect for him. I respect his will and his drive to be a NASCAR driver, but his brother Austin is a lot better than him.
Truck champion, Xfinity champion,
Daytona 500
Daytona
winner.
500 winner, Coca-Cola 600 winner. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
He's won two of the big crown jewel races. The only one he hasn't won yet, Austin has not won yet, is the Brickyard 400. The only person
And
who's done
Darlington.
that, Darlington, yep. Southern 500. Jimmy Johnson won Daytona. Won the Brickyard 400. Won the Coke 600. Won the Daytona 500. He's won all the crown jewel races. That's the other thing. Austin Dillon has been terrible this year. Not been good. That three team has not been good all year. Compared to his teammate, which they swapped crews, by the way. They swapped crews this week. That's what I'm hearing.
I think Kyle Busch is good with any team, any team he's with. That's just because he's
Yeah.
Kyle Busch.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting though? Kyle Busch has changed dramatically. You remember how he used to be like he would just not give a fuck about anyone?
Yeah.
Now he's just like he's humbled to be like humbly with RCR.
I think that's because
You know?
Joe Gibbs drivers were called like back in Joe Gibbs, he had that no care attitude because he was that one driver who had the most wins on that team. But he knows he's
And
driving for
swagger.
a team that the great Dale Earnhardt once drove for as well. And Kevin Harvick. Many greats who drove for that team.
Yep. Jeff Burton, Mike Skinner, Dave Blaney. Dave Blaney did drive Clint Boyer, by the way. Don't forget Clint Boyer.
Do you feel like the 29 could ever make a return after I know the 29 made a
No,
return this year with
the
Kevin
All
Harvick,
Star race.
but do you feel like
The All Star race in North Wilkesboro. Yep.
do you think the 29 after do you think the 29 could ever come back to Richard Childress Racing one day?
I mean, it's a possibility. It's never a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure to be honest, but I would like to see the 29 come back after being put aside after 2013 when Kevin Harvick left RCR to go to Stuart Haas. It's a possibility, I think.
I mean, even with that,
So we'll see.
I mean, I remember 2014 when Stuart Haas Racing, he was still driving the 29 Budweiser car, and after he left, he went over to the 4 car, which was still a Chevy, and Budweiser followed him. And lo and behold, they back when the championship
Hmm.
race was still Homestead, it was big.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm going to talk to her real quick.
All right. Jason, is there any NASCAR Cup driver you hate the most right now in the Cup Series, or no?
Bubba.
Should have known. I should have known. What do you hate the most about Bubba though? Like what do you hate about him?
Um, um, I don't know. Could it think of
Right.
something?
Right.
I'm not trying to put any negative thought into Bubba Wallace.
Yeah. Understandable.
Mm-hmm. While we're on the topic of NASCAR, NASCAR used to do stuff on iRacing in 2020 when there was a pandemic going on.
Yeah. And it was kind of nice when they did the iRacing Pro Invitational. Now that it's just gone, it's just I don't know. It's just different.
Yeah.
I gotta go real quick because I gotta go and get something for my dad. So I'll be back. When Blood comes back, tell him I'll be out for a while.
Okay.
So good. It was good meeting you, Jason. Sorry, everybody. Sorry that I'm leaving the podcast. I just got stuff I had to take care of. So
Mm-hmm.
appreciate everybody. Have a great night.
Yes, babe. Oh, okay. Where'd Kenny go?
You have to go somewhere.
Oh, he had to go somewhere. All right. Well, I'll
Yeah.
go. I'll go ahead and end this live. I want to say thank you for joining this live again.